1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine. How are you guys doing? This is episode 173. We're calling this bad boy Pay Me. 2 words, pay me. 2 words, most deaf. Black Shack, hot shit, calm down, get back, ghetto people got this. Shout out to the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kanye. This episode is called Pay Me. Not everything I said following Pay Me, just pay me. Alright? Simply pay me. Which, if you guys didn't know, is a reference to this past week, Patty the Baddie got in this controversy where he was talking shit about Ariel Helwani, saying Ariel Helwani is trying to profit off of fighters, alright? And saying how these people, if they want to interview the fighters, they need to pay the fighters to do these interviews. And as I was tweeting about it, I was like, this whole situation, like, I was never really sure personally about that whole aspect. You know, I've been doing this fucking podcast, and it's definitely crossed my mind, like, to interview people, but at the same time, I didn't know if that would be the response. Like, no, nigga, you need to pay this nigga like 5 G's. And then if you pay this nigga, then he'll give you a super cagey ass interview. Like, don't ask this, don't ask about that type shit. I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to reach out to a motherfucker. And that's why I was like, I would much rather talk to, like, regional fighters. But it's so hard to get to these regional shows just with how I work. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. It's called Pay Me in just relation to Patty the Baddie's ridiculousness this past week. It's like, I don't know, it's like when I saw, you know, earlier this year with Hamzat Chimaev, I say that's the one thing that I would say is a similar, like, how does someone try to, like, kill their fan base in, like, a week or less? Like, how fast can you do it? Like, as I've said on this podcast, I was never too sold on the Patty thing. After his previous fight, when he talked about how his friend killed himself, and he's like, that's the stigma, that men can't talk. Listen to me. Talk. Pardon me. But he was going on that rant, and I was like, all right, he's kind of winning me over now. And then he goes on this fucking bullshit fucking head house nigga, Samuel Jackson and Django, talking to Dana White, talking shit about Ariel Helwani for trying to make money off fighters, to the nigga whose job it is to pay you $14,000 a show, $14,000 to fucking win. And oh yeah, I'm gonna give away over $500,000 tonight to everybody that fucking finished their fight. If you finish your fight, UFC 282, with all the finishes, I think there was about, was it 9 finishes? It was over $500,000. Over $500,000 he gave out in bonuses. If they have the power to just do that, then they have the power to just pay the fighters more money out the gate. Nobody's gonna argue. let people say that you're paying the fighters too much. Maybe you'll get a few Adrian Browners. But what if? What if you still get a few Floyd Mayweathers? You know what I'm saying? What if you still get a few Floyd Mayweathers? If you guys would like to follow this podcast, well, before I break that down, what we are going to talk about here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, or this morning, I don't know when you guys like to take me in, but whether it be morning, evening, or even afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about tonight, as I'm recording, is UFC 282. It is a hot-ass card. Like, shout out to everybody that participated in that card. That was a good card. And we are going to talk about UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, which is the last card of the year. And there's no fights UFC-wise until, I believe, January 14th. Either January 14th or January 17th. If it's the 17th, I believe it's the 17th that Cannonier is fighting. So if it's the 17th, then it's January 14th. So we're going to talk about that. Very interesting things went down in UFC 282. Definitely going to touch on all that. But if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys could email this podcast for whatever reason at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. If you guys would like to hit that like button anywhere that you're listening to this podcast, I appreciate that so much. If you guys want to watch your boy game it up, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys would like to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my niche, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod and you can be my patrons today, ladies and gentlemen. UFC 282, ladies and gentlemen. This shit was a banger. Alright, it was a banger. My bangers and my mash. I got it all, ladies and gentlemen. I got it all. This nigga from the... Let's start, man. Let's go over this card. Cameron Simon looked like a beast against this Steven Kozlow dude. When I saw Steven Kozlow, I saw the name Kozlow, and I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? It gave me pause. I was like, uh-oh, a tough Russian. But then it was like from Florida. And I was like, from Florida? I'm going with Cameron Simon. I put that nigga on my DraftKings roster just off the fact that nigga wasn't from Russia. And I was served well. I don't even know if I've ever seen this Simon guy fight. I don't believe I have. And when I watched the fight and he dominated, I was like, holy fuck, why did I take that risk? Why did I take that risk? But it's like, I don't know. I don't really play a lot of DraftKings as it is. I play the free game with Ben of Combat History. I play that free game. If you guys are on Twitter, you should, or whatever, if you guys would like to join that DraftKings league or whatever, hit your boy up. I'll add you on to that. But yeah, I play a little bit of DraftKings, but I'd be trying to win, I guess. It'd be cool if all the picks I put on that fucking roster were winners. That'd be fucking cool. But that's not always the case. Raul Rosas Jr. debuts, the youngest fighter in the UFC, 18 years old, and he gets a first round finish, ladies and gentlemen. And I got pictures Hopefully this video, I was saying last week I was gonna upload video to YouTube, and then every time I tried to fucking export the video, there'd be an error. I fucking saw that I could do a 3-month fucking trial of Final Cut. And I'm like, nigga, I learned how to do Final Cut in middle school. I know I could work. Same error. Because I usually just put it together in iMovie. Since I record it this way, it's pretty simple to just drag that file over to iMovie and do it how I do it. But the same exact issue, just some random error. I'm not sure what it's telling me. It says like something about a frame. Like it'll get like in both iMovie and Final Cut, it'll export to a certain point, and then it'll say an issue with a frame, like an error because of this frame, blah blah blah, and it couldn't export it. So yeah, I was gonna have visuals last week, but I wasn't able to, unfortunately. Hopefully this goes up. And as I'm saying, Raul Rosas Jr. looked pretty amazing in the grappling. His stand-up, you know, as I was saying, I had some concern last week, and it's just like he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of loose. He's kind of wild with the stand-up. And I feel like he could be touched. He was touched a couple times in the stand-up, and he still got a first-round finish. At 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first round, he gets a submission in his very first fight in the UFC at 18 years old. His grappling, he was manhandling this guy. Shout out to this guy. This guy is going to be a problem, hopefully. Hopefully they don't rush him too fast. And as I heard people say, hopefully they don't Sage Northcutt him. But this guy looks like a problem. His grappling is amazing. He looks so strong out there. And only for 18 years old, he's fucking skilled. He's really skilled. Shout out to that guy, man. He's gonna be a problem. He looks like a future champion, regardless of the deficiencies that I personally see in the stand-up. I still see a champion. Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley, fucking beast-ass fight. Chris Curtis gets the knockout in the second round. Like, it was just a great fight. Rosenstrike finishes Chris Dawkins' 22-second knockout. Like, this was a great card. Eric Silva versus T.J. Brown. T.J. Brown gets, I believe, it's either the second or third round submission at the head and arm triangle. Third round's triangle choke. All right, yeah. He's all over this, man. Billy Cortentillo gets a beautiful comeback victory. It wasn't looking the best for him in the first round against Alexander Hernandez, and looks like Hernandez kind of tired out in the second round, and Cortentillo just fucking put it on him. Like, shout out to Billy Cortentillo. That man's a beast. I don't know if I can go against him again. Edmund Shabazian. I mean, I can go against him. I'm just going to be a little more cautious about it. Edmund Shabazian finishes Daucha Lungambula. As I said, I hate when that nigga fights because it's hard to pronounce the nigga's name. Edmund looks better. All right. He looks better. I still personally have some concerns, but he looked a lot better. Gets a win. They're saying, like, it's been so long since he was in the win column. I was like, oh, I thought he beat. No, he definitely did not beat Nasruddin Imavov. I was like, I thought he won his last fight. And I'm looking like, if it's Nasruddin Imavov, that's definitely not a fight that he won. You know, I fucks with Imavov, like, hard body. I would have known if he would have lost to Shabazian. I would have felt some type of way. I would have felt some type of way about that. All right, but then we had fucking this fight here. I thought Bryce Mitchell was going to beat Ilia Topuria Turns out Ilya Taporia absolutely beat the shit out of Bryce Mitchell. Like, Bryce Mitchell was, trying to defend himself, but the speed, the power, he was fucking Bryce Mitchell up. He whooped that nigga's ass. Pre-fight, man, I'm looking at the face-offs and all that shit. I'm like, Bryce is about to work this nigga. I was all in on Bryce Mitchell in there, and Taporia put them fucking hands on that boy. Put them fucking hands on that boy. Alright? Patty the Batty don't want no problems with Ilya Taporia. You better stop mentioning that nigga's name. You better stop mentioning that nigga's name. Patty said some racist shit about Georgia, where Taporia is from. And he was like, yo, chill out with all that shit. And Patty didn't back down on it. He just kept talking shit. And then when they saw each other, like, the nigga didn't want to do nothing. He threw a fucking sanitizer bottle at Taporia. I think just to try to escalate the situation to the point where everybody had to grab him and pull him back. Because Taporia, looking at the way Taporia put them fucking hands all over Bryce Mitchell, and looking at how fucking terrible Patty the Batty's striking defense is, Jared fucking Gordon, damn near, Jared Gordon was catching this man repeatedly with left hooks, sloppy left hooks at that. Like, they weren't the best left hooks, and he's so much smaller than Patty the Batty, and on so many people's scorecard, we scored that fight for Flash Gordon, and the judges, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter to me, unanimously. I hate when people say, I thought it was going to be a split. Like, you're fucking retarded. You thought this judge was going to score it this way, and this judge was going to score it differently this way, and this judge was going to score differently. That's what you fucking thought? I hate when people say that dumbass shit. I hate when people say that dumb shit. You thought it was going to be a split. Nigga, judge the fight from one point of view. God damn it. God damn it, dude. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And Patty's defense when he's striking, dude, he comes forward, hands down, chin up in the air. He's just getting caught with these left hooks. If they let Taporia get his hands on their little golden egg Patty the Batty, Taporia would beat the shit. I feel like Bryce got better defense. He at least has his hands up, but it didn't matter because Taporia is so fucking fast. It didn't matter. He was getting through that guard. They're not gonna let Taporia fuck their boy up. Alright? Because that's what would happen. Taporia is a fucking monster at 145 pounds. He said he wants Brian Ortega next. I would love to see it. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. Like, when was that shoulder injury? Like, he has to have, like, shoulder surgery, I believe. When is that happening? Like, he got hurt. Was that the first round against Yair Rodriguez? It, like, right away in the first round, they went to the ground and started grappling, and his shoulder popped out. Like, so, he said he's going to need surgery. They said it's going to take probably a year before he comes back. Shit, maybe it's almost a year. Maybe it's almost time for Ortega to come back. I think he should be aiming for somebody else. Shit, you're right there with... Shit. When is Perth? March? Maybe you could fight Arnold Allen. Maybe he could fight Arnold Allen in Perth. I would like to see Ilya Taporia versus Arnold Allen. That would be fucking nuts, dude. That would be an insane fight. Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis, man. That first round, I'm watching Darren Till get held up against the fence, like, and just just absorbed like 50 punches to the eye. Nigga, fuck that nigga eye up. Like 50 punches straight to the eye, and the ref is like, show me something. And Darren Till was like, all right, here's a thumbs up. And Mark Smith was like, okay. And then he was like, 10 more punches to the eye. And Mark was like, show me something. And he was like, thumbs up, I'm fine. And Mark was like, okay, that's enough. And he was like, that's all I need to see. 15 more punches to the dome. Mark was like, let me see something. Here's my thumbs up. And Mark was like, all right, that's cool. Nigga, I was like, what the fuck? I'm sitting there watching. I tweeted out like, not like this. I don't want to see my boy Darren go out like this with this quick-ass loss like that, getting just destroyed against the fence like that. Especially after he's been training with Khamzat Chimaev this whole time. He's been training with Khamzat Chimaev, and he was getting dominated in the grappling exchanges there. He luckily was able to survive, but his eye was basically swollen shut from that point on. He actually came back and won the second round, and then he gets finished via submission in the third. Now, he showed no way at all of defending the takedowns in there. He could not defend the takedowns. And so it really begs the question, like, what the fuck was he doing with Khamzat that whole time? I thought the whole time he would have been working on his wrestling. At least his takedown defense. I thought it would have improved tremendously training with Khamzat, but I guess that didn't happen. But most disturbingly is that I'm hearing that Darren Till may have torn his ACL in that fight. There was a point when they were in the ground, when they were grappling, and he like kind of fell back on his leg and like bent over and he like winced. I'm hearing he thinks he may have torn his ACL, so who knows when we see Darren Till again. He said he's going to stay away from the UFC for a bit. Like, I don't feel like he has a choice. I mean, Dana White was talking him up. Dana White was talking Darren Till up in a loss where he gets submitted, gets fucking absolutely dominated in the first round where it was crazy. Could have been stopped. Praises Darren Till, says I don't believe his stock drops at all, and was shitting all over Jared Gordon for his performance against Paddy, which we're going to get to. Shout out to Santiago Ponzinibbio. He gets the fucking victory over Alex Morono. I was hyped last week thinking it was going to be Robbie Lawler, but apparently Robbie Lawler had to pull out. So it's Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Morono. Morono looked great. He ended up getting finished in the third. Dana White decided to pay him his win bonus. Regardless, man, he looked great. He came in on 5 days' notice, looked great, and got finished. Got tired in the end. Now in the co-main event, man. Oh, did I not put any? Oh, I had pictures. I just didn't put them in there. Yeah, I had pictures. The ragdoll pictures. Now in the co-main event, you had Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. You know what I'm saying? And as I was saying, Paddy has no defense. He was getting hit repeatedly by Flash Gordon here. And yeah, he got exposed real bad in this one. He just has these terrible stand-up, walks forward, chin up in the air. Jared was teeing off on him at a point. I scored I scored all 3 rounds for Jared Gordon. A lot of people said they scored all 3 rounds for Jared. A lot of people scored the first and the third for Jared, but pretty much I haven't seen a lot of people, other than the judges, that are feeling like that Paddy won that fight. Pretty much only Paddy and the judges feel like Paddy won that fight. It's a pretty bad fight for Paddy. Jared looked great in that fight. But it's just like, it really showed. Like, Paddy, I was watching that fight and I'm like, Paddy looks like he's maybe 2 weight classes above Jared Gordon. He looked gigantic, like next to Jared Gordon, and Jared Gordon was able to hold him against the fence. He couldn't do anything. He's being dominated. Joe Rogan was like, he's being ragdolled right now, was the word that Joe Rogan was describing, is what was happening to Paddy Pimblett in the 3rd round. And yet, somehow, Dana White comes out and shit on Jared Gordon in the 3rd. On commentary, Joe Rogan's like, this nigga's getting ragdolled. Fast forward, Dana White's like, that was a terrible game plan in the 3rd round. Why did he do that? 2 of the judges, that's the round that 2 of the judges gave to him. The only round that the judges gave to Jared Gordon was the round that Dana White was like, what's wrong with him? Why would he come out there and do that in the 3rd round? That's the only round that they gave to him. Why are you judging him off the 1 round the judges gave to him? Like, you should be like, how dare he go out there and try to fight Paddy Pimblett, who has terrible stand-up? How dare he go out there and keep hitting him with these left hooks? Because he lost that when he had Paddy backing up and on the run. He lost those rounds. But when he grappled and controlled him, he won that round. And you fucking said, oh, that was a bullshit plan. Why would he go out there and do that? You know what the fuck you're talking about. In the main event, man, this shit ends via split draw. Now, I said last week that, oh, we're going to get a new champion. And then I said, at least I think, like anything could happen. And something fucking happened. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying that just because, nigga, we were supposed to get Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. Yuri was supposed to defend his belt, 3 weeks ago? That's what we thought was going to happen. And then a week later, we hear, oh no, Yuri injured his shoulder. He's out for a year. He relinquishes the belt by choice. And now we're getting Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. And I was like, unless something happens, we're going to get a new champion. And guess what? Something happened. We got a split draw. I was thinking about, like last night, I was like, nah, that's crazy. Ankalaev should have won. But I was at work thinking about it. I was listening to some podcasts, and I was like, wait, how did I score it? And I was like, damn, 10-9. I gave the first round 10-9 to Ankalaev. The next 2 rounds, 10-9 to Jan Blachowicz. So at 3 rounds, I gave it's 29-28 Jan. After 4 rounds, I gave the 4th round to Ankalaev 10-8, right? Or 10-9. So that brings it to 38, right? 38. Oh yeah, no, it's not a draw. I scored it for Ankalaev. Because it'd be 38, and then I would have it 48. Because I had a 10-8 in the 5th round. Some people were tweeting me like, oh, I didn't think that was enough. 2 judges gave him a 10-8 in the 5th round. So looks like a lot of people thought. I mean, I don't want to reference the judges. Usually when I reference the judges, I'm being sarcastic because Saul D'Amato, like, religiously has terrible cards, but this, like, Crosby guy, he has the fucking terrible cards. I see Ali Abdelaziz talking about he's gonna, like, petition to have that Crosby guy never judge an event in Nevada, and he's gonna go to other commissions too and petition that they never allow that guy to judge another fight. There's the fight in Bellator. Rafion Stotts fought this Sabatello guy. I didn't watch the fight, but that Crosby guy, the night before he judged this fight here, he gave Sabatello a 50-45, while the other 2 judges scored that same fight 48-47 for Rafion Stotts. So the other two judges scored the fight for Rafion Stotts, while this guy here gave every round to Sabatello. I mean, and you don't really have to, like, give your reasoning why. You know, they never have to, like, answer for why they gave these fucking scores. It just is what it is. So, like, through this whole thing, man, I don't know. I'm sitting here like, fuck. I thought Ankalaev won that fight. He beat the shit out of Jan in the fourth, but I guess he was just too tired to, like, really put it on him and finish him. And I thought once the draw came out that maybe they would book a rematch or something, but then I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and I find out that Dana White announces that instead of having these guys run it back, next month at UFC 283, they're going to have Glover Teixeira fight Jamal Hill for the vacant light heavyweight championship. They're moving on. I watched Anthony Hill. They broke that news and he's just like, he just found out that his fight, that he was supposed to fight Jamal Hill next. That fight isn't happening. He just found out as they were telling it. But this fight to me, even though Dana White tried to shit on this fight and said it was a terrible fight, I was like watching this fight. I was trying to record. I recorded myself watching it just to get the reaction. And then I realized, like, it was toward the end of the first round, I was like, holy fuck, I haven't said one word, because it was a good fight, man. It was a good fight. Shout out to Magomed Ankalaev, shout out to Jan Blachowicz. That was a really good fight. It's unfortunate that they're not champions. It was heartbreaking to see Ankalaev crying on his way out of the arena, man. He was fucking heartbroken. I thought he won that fight. One of the judges thought he won that fight. One of the judges thought Jan, dude, I was saying in the video, because by the third, all right, if it was originally scheduled for a 3-round fight, then the Yuri thing happened and their fight got promoted to the championship fight, 5 rounds. If that was a 3-round fight, Jan wins that fight easy. He was destroying Ankalaev's legs. And if he was able to land maybe one more good leg kick on Ankalaev, he would have not been able to keep walking. He would have not been able to stand and continue fighting. I was like, this nigga is beating Dagestani niggas now. All right, he beat Israel Adesanya, and now he's beating Dagestani niggas now. But 4th and 5th round, Ankalaev was like, oh shit, I'm Dagestani. Oh shit, I forgot I'm Dagestani. And then he tucked that nigga down with ease. And just gave that nigga the Dagestani handcuff and was just fucking this nigga up. Fucked Jan up. That's why that's a 10-8. Because he remembered, oh shit, I'm fucking Dagestani. I'm fucking Dagestani. I forgot. You niggas forgot I was Dagestani. Took that nigga down, it was over. He's one of them Islam Makhachev ass niggas from the respect that he has good striking. He's real fast, very powerful. And he just chooses. He said domination is the game plan. And if that doesn't work, then we go to wrestling. Nigga. And these niggas are cut from a different cloth. You niggas is wondering why these Dagestani niggas is taking over. These niggas from Chechnya is taking over. These niggas is cut from a different cloth. The game plan is domination. And if that doesn't work, they go to the fucking wrestling where they ragdoll motherfuckers. Where they ragdoll. That's his plan B. These niggas is cut from a different cloth, man. I swear it. These niggas is cut from a different cloth. This was a good pay-per-view, even with the draw, but that for me just adds to the excitement of the division, man. This whole division has been in fucking chaos since John Jones has chosen to depart, man. Or that's like some dead skin on under my lip here or some shit. So I need some lotion. Maybe that's what it is. I'm chapped. Sorry, I'm looking at myself in this video. I'm like, it just looks weird under my chin here. It looks pretty weird. That was a good card. You know what I'm saying? Great pay-per-view. Division's moving on. I like it to a point. I thought Ankalaev won that fight. He was talking about never fighting again in Las Vegas. He was originally like saying he doesn't know if he wants to fight for this promotion. It's like what he said or some shit originally. And Joe Rogan was like, nah, tell this nigga the UFC doesn't hire judges. They don't pick them, they don't pay them. And like they have no saying in how they pick a fight, how they judge a fight. And then he was like, oh, all right. Well, then I'll come back and win my belt. But then he left out of there crying, and it was just heartbreaking. Like, damn, dog. Like, we know you won. The leader of Chechnya guy, he was calling out Dana, saying Dana needs to apologize to Ankalaev and give him the belt and restore the reputation of the UFC. This is the dude that Khamzat Chimaev was posting pictures on his Instagram of that dude's kids just beating the shit out of him in sparring, landing good ass punches, and he was posting pictures of them beating his ass. You understand what I'm saying here? That guy is publicly calling out Dana White to apologize to Ankalaev and give him the belt. This is interesting. We'll see how this plays out, man. This is crazy. Next week, we have the last card of the year, headlined by Sean Strickland versus Jared Cannonier, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fun-ass card, all right? I like this card a lot. This is probably the best. It's one of the most fun cards for your boy to end the year with. And with the headliner here, Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland. You guys know, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know your boy really fucks with Jared Cannonier, and I don't really fuck with Sean Strickland like that. He's not my cup of tea. So, you know, I'm rooting for Jared Cannonier in here. He's definitely my pick in here. It shocks me when I look at how old Jared Cannonier is. 38. He's going to be 39 in about 3 months. Yeah, in 3 months. He will be 39 years old fighting at middleweight. I mean, how long did Yoel Romero do it? Till like 43? Anderson Silva? And I feel like Cannonier is in his prime right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he could go for a little while longer, but it just honestly shocks me every time I see it. Like how, well, just now, I guess 38 is just like a pretty shocking number to me. But I'm going to go with Cannonier. I think Cannonier is going to put that pressure on him. What Strickland comes forward with that, as Dan Hooker called it, that cocksucker stance, because he doesn't really protect anything, so he's going to leave himself open for those power shots coming from Jared Cannonier. I think Cannonier can finish Sean Strickland in this one. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Jared Cannonier to finish Sean Strickland for the last fight of the night. Hopefully of the year. Hopefully not first round eye poke in the first 30 seconds. Hopefully not that. That's what I hope does not happen. But it definitely could be the ending that we all get. If you guys also are longtime fans of this podcast, you know I'm a big Arman Sarukian stan. I'm an Arman Sarukian fucking stan, okay? I fucks with Arman Sarukian. He got robbed in that last fight. You can't tell a nigga no different. I'm an Arman Sarukian stan. And he is fighting Damir Ismagulov. And I am 1000% rolling with Arman Sarukian. And it's not just because I'm a Sarukian stan. I believe Kutaladze beat Ismagulov in the last fight. But I also believe... Alright, I believe that the strength of schedule, alright, shows me that Arman is already at a higher level. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need to raise his level for anyone. I think he's just going to be better than Ismagulov everywhere in this fight. This is a perfect card for your boy to end the year with, because we got my boy, we got Jared Cannonier. Arman Sarukian's about to get a W. And also, we got my boy King Bobby Green versus Drew Dober. That's a fun fucking fight right there, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that's going to be a fun fight. This is a great card to end the year. Got Cody Brundage versus Michael Oleksiejczuk. That's a fun fight. Cheyenne... what is her name? I want to say Cheyenne. Is it Vlismus? I think it's Vlismus. I think if she's not married, it's Vlismus, I believe. I just don't want to be disrespectful, but Cheyenne Vlismus is taking on Corey McKenna, taking on Poppins. And it's a hype fight there. I'm definitely rolling with Corey McKenna in that one. Jake Matthews versus Matt Semmelsberger. Sorry. I'm like Matt Smellsberger. No, I'm Matt Semmelsberger. That's a good fight right there. Julian Marquez is fighting Deron Wynn. I think Julian Marquez is going to fucking maul Deron Wynn. We got Said Nurmagomedov versus Said Yokov Kakramanov. Said Yokov Kakramanov stepping back in action. I'm rolling with Kakramanov. Got Rafa Garcia in action. All right, versus, I don't know how to pronounce this nigga's name. I think it's from China. Maheshate, just one name, no last name, just one, Maheshate. That could be a fun fight. Brian Battle, Ultimate Fighter winner, in action versus Renat Rednov. A tough Russian. This is going to be a tough fight. I'm hyped for that. Manel Cop. He's in action. That's going to be an interesting fight. I don't know how to pronounce this. They got some Russians. They got some tough Russian names or foreign names. David it's DVOR with a fucking thing around it, with a thing over it, and an A with an apostrophe over that K. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. David Dvorak? David Dvorak. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. He's from the Czech Republic. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anywho, this is a fun card, all right? This is a nice little card for your boy for the end of the year. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it all. This is what I need to end the year with. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you guys for being here. another week. I'm going to talk to you guys next week about that COD. And then as the weeks go, as we go on, ladies and gentlemen, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be niggas forever. I don't know what that was about, but if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You guys can hit that like button. Anywhere that you're listening to this podcast, if you made it thus far, if me screaming right there didn't just fucking piss you the fuck off, go ahead and hit that like button. Why not? You're here. If you guys want to watch your boy game it up, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys want to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my Niji, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. You can be my patrons today. Thank you guys so much for being here with me another week. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla. I don't want to just leave it like that. So when I said and each other there, that was a reference to I got real hype when Sha'Carri Richardson, when she did her first interview after she failed that drug test, she was like, I want to address my friends, my family. Like, I think she's my friends, my family, the supporters, and the haters. And I was like, yes, address them haters. Address them haters. You know what I'm saying? That's just what that was referenced to. So I hope you niggas is taking care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling chant down Babylon kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now.